I nearly said Happy Thanksgiving. Wrong month. I should have known because I don't smell any turkey in the oven, so it can't be Thanksgiving. This is Jimmy. Happy Independence Day. Um, there was a time when we rose up, we, our forebears, they had the guts to rise up. They rose up and they fought against the world's most powerful empire. And they didn't really win. All George Washington had to do was not lose. And he pinned Cornwallis at Yorktown. And the blustering old idiot had to surrender. And so we won our independence. He was the greatest man who ever lived in this country. There was none like him before him, none like him afterward. He was a singular individual. Good morning, Shanna. Happy 4th of July. So anyway, we've made it 250 years. And the many things that we've done in the past are all worthy of celebration. We defeated the fascists in 1945. We may be called on to defeat them again. But I love my country. I cry when somebody is bold enough to sing the last stanza of the Star-Spangled Banner, which nobody knows. I cry when I sing America the Beautiful, so I don't sing it. I'll play it and let somebody else sing it. Yes, we love the country that we knew, and we will not stop loving it. And we will not cease to fight for it and to stand for it because it's still here. I saw it in all its pride and all its glory, and then I watched it go away. We are under the judgment of God right now, and it does not yet appear how the tide will turn. We're under his judgment because we went a whoring after other gods, because we sacrificed our children, because we believe the lies of false prophets, and not just in the church, on the campaign trail, in the colleges and universities, on the television, in culture, in art. I think probably the only thing that is still the same is science, because in math, because 2 plus 2 will never equal 5, no matter how much crazy people want us to believe that it will. 2 plus 2 will never equal 5. And I say, well, Brother Harris, you're very melancholy. Well, there's a lot to grieve because you look at what we were and you look at what we are, and it makes you want to puke. But I believe that America As Winston Churchill says, America always does the right thing after it's tried everything else. And we will do the right thing again. As you know, I believe that we've been under the judgment of God since November 22nd, 1963. That's the day the remedial judgments began, where God tried to get our attention and turn us back to Him. The punitive judgment began on September 11th, 2001, where we're being punished for not turning back to Him. The wrath judgment began, I haven't set a date, but I think your guess is as good as mine. We're in the wrath judgment right now of God. And who knows when He will lift His hand. And who knows if He will show us mercy. But I do know this, I love God more than I love my country. And if what He's doing to us right now is His will, well, then I have to bear it. I can't do anything about it, neither can you. But I will repeat the words of the great song from the war, the Civil War. It became known as the Civil War. In the South, they called it the war between the states, or the war of northern aggression. In the North, they called it the War of Rebellion. Long live the Union. Long shall she be. Down the rebellion and up with the free. And we'll rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We'll rally round the flag. We'll rally once again. And as was once said, I think probably most truthfully by Al Capone, it ain't over till it's over. Chapter 9. May God save the United States of America. Chapter 9 of Revelation. The fifth trumpet, the first woe. We had the first four trumpets. And now we're in the first woe. The end of chapter 8 says, after the fourth trumpet sounded, it said, I beheld and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpets of the three angels, which are yet to sound. Woe, woe, woe. Three woe judgments. Like it's been bad up to now. But the angel says, but it's going to get really bad. As in, woe is me. Woe, woe, woe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Could be any song from the 50s or 60s. Whoa, whoa. You know, can't bring anything to mind, but I've sung that whoa, whoa 100 times, 1,000 times, maybe thousands of times. I don't know. The fifth angel sounded, chapter 9. This is the first woe, the fifth trumpet. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Good morning, Rita. I woke up with a congestion way up high. I think I might have bronchitis, Shannon. I'll have to sit off down the hall this morning. I'm going to play music at a program at the Ozark Baptist Home. When you get close enough to anybody to breathe on them. I might even wear a mask if there's one available. They quit wearing masks around here. It's hard to find them. The first thing that happens is angel. It says a star fall from heaven, but remember I told you that this is an angel. It's a personage. You don't give a key to a rock or a burning comet or something, or meteorite. You can't give a key to a falling star. You give a key to a personage, and then the falling star couldn't unlock the lock that was on the bottomless pit, which I've explained to you is the abyss that we hear about, where the devil's inside the maniac of Gadara said, "Don't send us into the abyss. Don't send us into the bottomless pit. Don't lock us up down there." Well, this angel opens the bottomless pit. The first thing that happens is smoke, gas, fire belch out of it. The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit. As the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. There came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them were given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. So this could be people who are not saved, or people who already have the mark of the beast. I want you to understand that not being sealed by God gives you the same outcome as having the mark of the beast, even if you don't have God's seal or the beast seal. If you just don't have anything there. I know a lot of people who don't have anything up here. I think I'm one of them most of the time. Now, see, not answering Christ, not saying yes, is the same as saying no to Christ. So whether you just have said no to Christ or whether the beast already owns you, you'll be tormented by these locusts if you happen to be alive during the Great Tribulation. There came out locusts, and unto them was given power as scorpions have power. And they commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing nor any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And we've gone over the destruction of the green grass and a third of the trees. there has time passed now for the grass to start growing back, so there's some grass, or he wouldn't say don't kill it. So don't hurt any of the trees that are left. And it was given unto them that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented for 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So this torment will not kill them, but they'll wish they were dead. It says that they will seek death and not find it. Does it go as far with them trying to kill themselves and being unable to? I don't know. There are supernatural forces here at work. These aren't ordinary locusts, and they come out of hell. Most locusts that you see don't come out of hell, although you might think they did when they eat up your wheat field. In those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. This isn't your ordinary locust. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were like the teeth of lions. This is quite a little beast here. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, like many horses running to battle. I told you about that. I wanted to know one time what it sounded like. And I watched a YouTube video of an actual locust plague somewhere in Africa, I think, sub-Sahara Africa. And there was this field, and you're looking down at a field, and then there's a hill behind the field in the distance, and then you can hear this noise for a couple of minutes. It's big, it just keeps getting louder and louder and louder, and then it comes over the hill, and it's like this giant black cloud, and they just keep moving, and they come down on the hill, and they eating all the grass, and behind them there ain't nothing but dust, and a bug flying here and there. And then they got to the crop. I think it was wheat. It may have been barley. It was some kind of standing stalks in the stands, And they just went through there like Sherman through Georgia. Just cut a swath down through there. And there wasn't anything left except some stubble and dirt. It's a dead locust. I don't know why they died. Maybe they ate so much they burst. I don't know. Don't know that much about locusts. The thing I wanted to tell you is they were loud. They were loud in the sky with just their wings, and then they were even louder on the ground with their chomping. You could hear them eating. You could hear the stalks and the stems breaking. An incredible sound. The sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Good morning, Jennifer. Happy Independence Day. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men for 5 months. See, this is not your normal locust. These are supernatural locusts. These are some serious hybrid weirdo devil locusts. They had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. In either language, in Greek and in Hebrew, it means destroyer. Destroyer. The destroyer of worlds. I am death. I am the destroyer of worlds. And that's what Apollyon and Abaddon mean, destroyer. This angel, of course, is a fallen angel. discussed yesterday how he might be more powerful than Satan because Satan gets to run free. And this guy, Baden, he's locked up in a pit. And a good angel, a holy angel, has to come and let him out. And when he gets out, he does some serious damage. Serious damage. Big deal. That was the fifth trumpet and the first woe. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter, or after these things. Now we get into the sixth trumpet, the second woe. Yeah, I'm going to be real good at camp next week. Y'all pray for me. I hope that this is one of those deals that'll just pass off in the night. My vitality will come back. Well, what's wrong with you, Jimmy? Is it your cancer? Is it arthritis? Yeah, I got arthritis of the bronchitis. No. What I forgot when I started having all these physical failings, I forgot that I'm still going to catch a cold or the flu or something just like anybody else does. Basically, I feel pretty good except for right here. It hasn't affected my head or my body yet. You can laugh at me if you want to, but Shannon knows I'm telling the truth. I had chicken noodle soup for breakfast because that made my throat feel better. When I ate all the noodles up, the Campbell's, of course. I ate all the noodles up and then I drank the broth. And I know that will make me feel good. Maybe not immediately, but later. And I got 2 or 3 more cans of Campbell's soup up in the cabinet. Go buy some grapefruit juice. It's my favorite. I had a guy, Doc, told me if you got high blood pressure, you shouldn't drink grapefruit juice, but he's dead now, so I'm still alive, so I can drink what I want to. Is that logical? I don't know. All I know is I'm still here and he's not. And I like grapefruit juice. Good. Good. That's right. Okay, the sixth trumpet, the second woe of the woe judgments. And you got to admit that those locusts, that's kind of bad. Wouldn't be very pleasant. Now, I don't know what happens at the end of the 5 months. Are those locusts called back into the pit? Does God just kill them off? I don't know. It doesn't say what happens to those locusts. Maybe they run out a short lifespan and just die on the road. But for 5 months, they're going to be tormenting everybody who does not have the seal of God in his forehead. Verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God. Remember, the altar's got the horns on it, on each corner. Remember, in the tabernacle, the altar, the golden altar before God. Well, it's gold in heaven, but in the tabernacle, the horns on the altar meant the sacrificial altar, the altar of sacrifice, and that was a brazen altar. It was like a giant barbecue grill, but it had horns on it, on each corner. Apparently in heaven, it is gold. Now, I could be wrong. This could be the same altar of incense that is depicted in the 3rd verse of chapter 8 of Revelation. You know, the golden altar that I described to you, that at the Holy of Holies, the altar of incense, it was made out of acacia wood and then overlaid in gold. But in heaven is pure gold. It says the golden altar, and maybe it's gold in heaven, but, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll look it up later, and I can correct myself if I'm wrong. You guys know I'm making corrections all the time. The brazen altar of sacrifice had the 4 horns, one on each corner. It was like a big giant rectangle. But the altar of incense did not have horns on it. So I'm going to assume that they're talking about the sacrificial altar, the brazen altar, and the brazen altar that must be gold in heaven. I will do some more studying on that when I get time. But for now, we'll just take it for what it says. And we'll assume that it is the brazen altar in the temple, which must be gold in heaven because it's got the horns. Remember bloody Joab, when Solomon was going to kill Joab for plotting against him. He grabbed a hold of the horns of the altar and said that he wouldn't leave the tabernacle. And they said, "Slay me here," and they slayed him there. David's nephew, old bloody Joab. So those are the horns of the altar. If there's a dispute between which altar, I will study that and come back to you on that. Either way, I'm not sure it's important, but I want to be exact. I want to be precise. And the 6th angel, as much as you can be, right? If there's a right answer, if there is a correct statement, I want to make it. I haven't done all this study in preparation to be wrong. I can be wrong, but I don't want to be wrong due for laziness or lack of study. The 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet. Remember, there's 7 trumpets, 6 trumpets, 6th angel, which had the trumpet. Loose, now here we go, we're going to get complex again. Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Apparently, just like Abaddon or Apollyon was bound in the bottomless pit and then he was let out, now they're going to get ready to loose these 4 angels that are bound in or under a river, the great river Euphrates. Euphrates is the river that ran through Babylon, the river upon which the city was built. And Mesopotamia, where civilization began. That's where God created Adam and Eve. I know that science says that that's not so. But I think that maybe somebody walked from Mesopotamia down into Africa, and that's where they found Lucy. I don't know. I don't have a video of it. But I know this, that science agrees with the Bible and the Bible agrees with science. Science is a process of discovering what God made before the world was. I mean, it all came out of his mind. He made all the matter, and he made it matter. So the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpets, loose the four angels that are bound in the great river Euphrates, and that's in Mesopotamia, Babylon. And the four angels which were loosed were prepared for an hour, a day, and a month, and a year to slay a third of the part of men. A third of the part of men. Remember, that in the four horsemen of the apocalypse, a fourth of the part of the men were killed. That leaves, if that happened now, that would cut us down from 8 billion to 6 billion people. If a third of those were slain next, and we have an unknown number of men who die at the third trumpet because of the wormwood, the star that fell on the waters and the rivers and the fountains of waters and poisoned the water. And the third said that many men died. We don't know how many on top of the 1/4 of all the men died on the earth. Well, now in chapter 9, these four angels that are loosed from the Euphrates, they're going to, over a period of 1 year and 1 month and 1 day and 1 hour, they're going to slay a third part of men. A third part of men. I've already cut it down from 8 billion. If it happened now, I'm just giving numbers that I can deal with. If it happened now, you cut from 8 billion to 6 billion. And then you have you have some that died along the way in these other plagues, especially where the waters are made bitter. And now you're going to have a third part of the men be killed by the work of these four angels that have been bound in the Euphrates over a period of 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, and 1 hour. Well, Jimmy, do you think it's exactly that long? Well, the Bible says it's 1 year, 1 day, 1 year, 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, and 1 hour. Does it stand for just any period of time? I don't know, because the other times in Revelation are pretty succinct. Good morning, Kevin. God bless you. A third part of 6 billion would be 2 billion. So now you've cut the population of the world before the first 3.5 years of the tribulation are done. You cut the population of the world from 8 billion to 4 billion. So many people have died. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the river Euphrates. Now these are demons, they're devils, they're fallen angels, or they wouldn't be bound. And their work is wicked, because look what happens in verse 15. And the four angels were loosed and were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. The third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. That's 200 million is how many that is. And I heard the number of them. And are they demons? Are they devils? Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to wait until we finish this chapter to give my opinion. But there's a lot of people that think these 200 million horsemen are actually devils, demons. And they would be kind of like that army of the dead that Sauron in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, that army of skeletons, the army of the dead, that comes against Frodo and his pals and the king. Could it be like that? Maybe. Well, let's look at all the evidence first, and we won't get to all of it today. I'm just telling you that is possible, that the thing you've seen in movies and heard in stories may be true, and it may not be. There is a possibility that these are demonic forces. We'll have to look at it more carefully as we go. Verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. That's 200 million. 1,000,000 is a million. 200 million. And I heard the number of them. I've never heard 200 million horsemen. People say this has to be China or India because they're the only ones who could field an army of 200 million men, and that it might take both of them together to do that in the world's current situation. Why they would be together, I know not. They're going to be competitors. If the Lord tarries, they'll be the big competitors in the world for the next 100 years with each other. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 thousands, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the visions. Now he's looking at these horses. And so we start thinking, are these real horses or are they demon horses? And are they demons who are riding on demon horses? Supernatural beings, angelic beings. The Greeks have the myth of Pegasus, the winged horse. Could this just be a manifestation of demonic activity that they saw, that there was a living creature that God had created and fallen that looks like a horse with wings on it? I'll tell you, I don't know, but it's certainly possible, because the angels that he did make in the 3 different races of angels that we know of, they're certainly kind of weird looking. And thus I thought I saw a putty tat. I did see a putty tat. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone. Well, where did the fire and the brimstone come from? And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Hal Lindsey, when he wrote his book, The Late Great Planet Earth, he said that maybe John was seeing helicopter gunships, shooting rockets and firing 50 cows. And a guy in the door, Rambo type of guy with a M60 pointed down a strafe in the ground. Bible says there were horses. Brother Hal, who's gone on to be with the Lord now, wrote a book 50 plus years ago, 56 years ago, I guess, that got me hooked on prophecy, and I've been hooked ever since. A lot smarter than I am, but you see, the Bible says horses. And until I see something that proves to me that they are not and can't be horses, even some kind of demonic horse, and then a fallen angel horse maybe, like Pegasus, you get the idea. A created being of an angelic race that we have not been exposed to till now. That's all possible. That they're not flesh and blood and bone, but they are supernatural demonic forces. Don't know enough about it yet, but if it said the Bible says horse, I'm going to think horse unless I have a reason not to think horse. Just like in verse 1 where it says the star fell from heaven to the earth and to him was given a key. Well, a star falling from heaven is not a him or a her. And you don't give a rock a key. Especially burning rock, you might burn your little, you might hurt a picking finger. So unless there's a reason not to take the Bible at face value, I take it at face value. Remember what do they call it, an edict? The dictum. If the plain sense makes sense, seek no other sense, lest you wind up with nonsense. And that is a rule of hermeneutics, which is the interpretation of the Word of God. If what you're reading makes sense, then don't look for another sense. Now, just because I've never seen a horse that looks like this doesn't mean that they exist in a supernatural world in another dimension that I can't see. Like I've never seen an angel in his natural state, with 6 wings. I've never seen a seraphim. I've never seen a cherubim. I've never seen one of the living creatures. They look pretty weird. If I saw one, I might scream with fright. I have to go. I have to go to my program. We will talk more about these horses tomorrow. But again, it's the brimstone. It tells me that they're straight out of hell. That they could be demons instead of horses. But or they could be demonic beings. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and Japheth and the brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. We will talk more about these horses and the 6th trumpet and the 2nd woe tomorrow. I have to get ready to go to the Baptist home. God bless you all. Happy Independence Day.